What's up everybody, you're watching JoeBox TV, and today I'm going to recap some of the major news from around the boxing world this past week. First things first, I gotta mention Wilder Fury. They just finished a huge press tour, which started off in London, then in New York, and finished off in Los Angeles. And it just seems to me like Wilder's kind of gotten inside Fury's head. I don't think Fury has faced anyone with this level of confidence before. As expected, there were some major fireworks. Of course, there's bad blood between the two. Fury feels as though he's been somewhat disrespected because he feels he deserves to hold the claim as the lineal heavyweight champion, having beaten the man, Vladimir Klitschko, who dominated the division for almost a decade. Here's the thing, Fury hasn't fought a top-level opponent since November 2015 when he fought Klitschko. And I can understand some of the backlash towards that claim. So, on the other side, you've got Walder, who feels somewhat angry having not been able to face Anthony Joshua. He chose to fight Alexander Povetkin and supposedly turned down $50 million to fight Walder. So now he faces Tyson Fury, who might be the next best challenge for him. I personally feel like you're gonna see the fireworks that you saw in the press conference carry into the ring. I know it's a lot to ask for, but I am expecting a good fight. I'm expecting Fury to outbox him in the early portion of the fight. I just don't think he's going to be able to fight the perfect game plan and stay away from that right hand for a full 12 rounds. I just don't see Tyson Fury doing it. I know he was able to do that against Vladimir Klitschko, but you gotta understand, Vladimir Klitschko was able to outbox his opponents using that major advantage in height and reach, and he's a very technical fighter, whereas Deontay Wilder is a very aggressive fighter, and he's gonna be looking for openings every second of every round, and I just don't see Tyson Fury being able to get away from that right hand. On fight week, I'll give my prediction a little bit more in detail, but at the moment I'm leaning towards Wilder by knockout in the 8th round. Also, just yesterday, on Friday, Canelo Alvarez announced that he will be moving up to super middleweight to face Rocky Fielding. This is pretty much just a tune-up fight for Canelo Alvarez. I don't mean that as a disrespect to Rocky Fielding, but Canelo's just on another level. And the fight's going to take place in Madison Square Garden in New York City on December 15th. Canelo's coming off that highly disputed decision victory in the rematch against Golovkin, and he says he wants to keep staying active. And I can see why he would want to take a tune-up fight after that last fight. With that being said, Canelo, with having gone through with this fight, he'll be a super middleweight now, which means he's got to fight Callum Smith after this fight, I think. That's just my opinion, and I think that would be a great fight with an intriguing storyline. You know why? Because back in 2016, Canelo knocked out Liam Smith, Callum Smith's brother. And wouldn't it be something to see Callum Smith try to avenge his brother's loss and take on Canelo Alvarez? Because now that Canelo's moved up to super middleweight, all bets are off now. I just love that matchup, Canelo Alvarez against Callum Smith. He shouldn't overlook Rocky Fielding, but I do think Canelo stops him probably within 5 rounds. I know it's his first fight at 168 pounds, but I'm expecting him to walk through fielding. I mean, he's a gritty guy, but he was stopped in one round by Callum Smith. So, I do think there's some pressure on Canelo to look really good here. And like I said, ultimately, I just hope to see that fight, Canelo against Callum Smith. Let me know what you guys think. As far as I know, no network has been announced for the fight. My guess is it will either be on DAZN or on ESPN, given that HBO is now going to be leading the boxing business. Which brings me to my next story. HBO is leaving the boxing game after 45 years. There have been so many great fights on HBO throughout the years. So many great trilogies, rivalries, and just excellent matchups and quality boxing over the years. And in my lifetime, a few of my favorite fights that have been on HBO have been the first Marquez Diaz fight, the Maidana Ortiz fight, obviously the Ward Gaddy series, the Pacquiao Marquez series, and the two fights between Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev. Those have probably been my 5 favorites. Jim Lampley specialized as the blow-by-blow commentator, and over the years we've seen commentary from the likes of Max Kellerman, the late trainer, the legendary Emmanuel Stewart, and color commentary from former boxers such as George Foreman, Roy Jones, Andre Ward, Bernard Hopkins, and others. And of course, the round-by-round scoring from Harold Letterman, and I disagreed with his scorecards very often, but one thing's for sure, he was always animated, and he's been the product of a lot of debates. So salute to HBO Boxing for so much great fights over the years. We saw the rise of fighters like Roy Jones, to Bernard Hopkins, to Vladimir Klitschko's heavyweight run, to Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, to Andre Ward, Gennady Golovkin, Canelo. So many great fighters have appeared on HBO and have been the product of some amazing fights. And as to why they decided to leave the game, right now the consensus is that HBO's downfall was largely due to them not fully investing enough in American boxers and relying more on Eastern European talent and fighters from other foreign countries, whereas the big market is going to be with the American boxers. And Canelo said that he's going to be leaving HBO. Floyd Mayweather left HBO, Manny Pacquiao left HBO, and it seemed as though HBO Boxing was kind of falling apart in the last year or so. It just wasn't what it once was, which is kind of a shame to see, because after 45 years they've been such a huge part of the boxing game. The last fight for HBO is probably going to be on October 27th, when Daniel Jacobs faces Sergey Derevianchenko, although there are rumors that the last HBO card could be on December 8th, when Jaime Munguia and Dmitry Bivol appear on the same card. So we may still see 2 more cards for HBO. In other news, the Demetrius Andrade Billy Joe Saunders fight appears to be in jeopardy. Saunders just tested positive for oxylofrene, a stimulant drug, and a banned substance. and we could still see the fight go through, but if it doesn't, then Demetrius Andrade will likely face undefeated Namibian prospect Walter Kawandakwa. I hope I pronounced that right. But I haven't seen much footage of him, and there doesn't appear to be many notable names on his record, but he is a big puncher and could cause some trouble for Andrade. Until next time, JoeBox TV, out!